Kristi Noem, the now infamous dog killer, went on to Larry Kudlow's program on Fox Business to try to breathe air back into her dying career. I mean, if it's one place that you're trying to look more human, God forbid, it's Larry Kudlow, the old decrepit Fox Business analyst who's, the stock market is down today. That's not helping Kristi Noem. But what's even worse is what she said in the interview. Quote, "I want people to know the truth. That's why I wrote this book. And I want people to know that I don't hide the truth." Something she has been doing ever since the news broke that she not only killed her dog, but she lied about a meeting with Kim Jong-Un.
I made the hard decision. I took the responsibility on myself. And I know I'm receiving criticism for that, but I want people to remember and to know this, and this is the reason it's in the book. My political opponents have tried to use it against me in the past. I wanted people to know the truth. And I want them to know that I'm not like other politicians. I don't try to hide the truth, and I don't try to run from hard decisions. I take them head on, and that's what President Trump does, and I think that's why the liberals are giving me the same treatment that they give him, much like it.
Kristi Noem, you want the American people to know that you don't hide the truth. Is that what you were doing just hours before on CBS Mornings when you wouldn't admit that you lied about meeting Kim Jong-Un?
Specifically, when you write in the book, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un, I'm sure he underestimated me. That, as I understand, is now being removed from the book at your request.
Yes, when I became aware of that, we changed the content, and the future editions will be adjusted. And, I appreciate that. I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I should not have put that anecdote in the book. And at my request, they have removed it.
That specific meeting didn't happen?
I'm saying that I'm not talking about that meeting. I'm not talking about my meetings with world leaders.
But you
there's
do
some
talk
that are
about
in the
meetings
book.
with world leaders.
There's some that are in the book, and then there's some that's not in the book. Many
but why
of them,
are there
actually.
two specific mentions of meeting Kim Jong-Un and talking about him, and a specific memory? I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. Did you tell your ghostwriter to write that?
I've specifically have worked on policy for over 30 years. And over that time, I have traveled around the world, and I have met with leaders around the world. And that anecdote, I've asked them to change the content, and it will be removed.
It's a simple question. Did you or did you not meet with Kim Jong-un?
That's the answer that I have for you, is that it will be adjusted. And as soon as I became aware of it, that content was removed.
Kristi Noem, you want the American people to know that you tell the truth, because that's what you did the day before on Face the Nation, when again you wouldn't admit that you lied about meeting Kim Jong-Un.
Talk about meeting some world leaders, and one specific one. Quote, "I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-Un. I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. I've been a children's pastor after all." Did you meet Kim Jong-un?
Well, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage. And I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. As soon as it was brought to my attention, we went forward and have made some edits. So I'm glad that this book is being released in a couple of days, and that those edits will be in place, and that people will have the updated version.
So you did not meet with Kim Jong-un. That's what you're saying.
I've met with many, many world leaders. I've traveled around the world. I think I've talked extensively in this book about my time serving in Congress, my time as governor, before governor, some of the travels that I've had. I'm not going to talk about my specific meetings with world leaders. I'm just not going to do that. This anecdote shouldn't have been in the book, and as soon as it was brought to my attention, I made sure that was adjusted. So.
Oh, Kristi, no. I'm sorry. It was when, in that same interview on Face the Nation, when you talked about murdering your second dog, this time President Biden's dog, Commander.
But on this point, though, because you have been rumored to be a potential vice presidential candidate, as you know, and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said killing the dog and then writing about it ended any possibility of her being picked as VP. You talk multiple times about it. In fact, at the end of the book, you say the very first thing you would do if you got to the White House that was different from Joe Biden is you'd make sure Joe Biden's dog was nowhere on the grounds. Commander, say hello to Cricket. Are you doing this to try to look tough? Do you still think that you have a shot at being a VP?
Well, number one, Joe Biden's dog has attacked 24 Secret Service people. So how many people is enough people to be attacked and dangerously hurt before you make a decision on a dog and what to do with it?
Well, he's not living at the White House
That's a
anymore.
question that the president should be held accountable to.
You're saying he should be
That's
shot?
what the president should be accountable to, is what is the number? And I would say about Republicans criticizing me, these are the same Republicans that criticized me during COVID. They've criticized me when I've made other decisions in South Dakota to protect my state. And my state today is extremely happy and thriving. We're doing well. We've got thousands of people moving to our state because they love the opportunities that are here and the businesses that have come, and how we've gotten to be a state that has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the nation. Everybody has an opportunity for higher wages.
Look, what's really the dark and twisted thing about all this is that a lot of Republicans haven't really come out to condemn Kristi Noem, and Donald Trump hasn't said much about the subject. He might still be considering her. That's why she's fighting so hard. You know, that and the fact that, like I said, she's trying to resuscitate a dying career. She knows that, you know, what she was talking about there, how the liberals are coming for her. It's not just a liberal thing. That's why she's pushing so hard, because both Republicans and Democrats and just Americans and just humans don't like killing dogs. But, you know, if you're a sociopath like Kristi Noem, who, you know, you can barely make out as a human being behind those cold, dead eyes, you don't really get that. And so now her, you know, her admission of killing Cricket, her lies about Kim Jong-Un are going to bite her in the ass. Pun intended. Anyway, thanks for watching. My name is Brendan Plank with Reflect News. Be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications to get my videos in your inbox if you haven't already. Thanks for making it this far in the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
But I want people to remember and to know this, and this is the reason it's in the book. My political opponents have tried to use it against me in the past. I wanted people to know the truth. And I want them to know that I'm not like other politicians. I don't try to hide the truth, and I don't try to run from hard decisions. I take them head on, and that's what President Trump does, and I think that's why the liberals are giving me the same treatment that they give him, much like it.
I wanted people to know the truth. And I want them to know that I'm not like other politicians. I don't try to hide the truth. I wanted people to know the truth. And I want them to know that I'm not like other politicians. I don't try to hide the truth.